Hi folks, Speedway Tag here. Would like to do a little video on another retro game of decades ago. I've done a couple of these on the channel, Safari Roundup and Jiggered and Krull and Vertigo and things like that. But Totopoly is actually one of those classics that I believe was originally published in 1938, somewhere around then. And it was republished a number of times throughout the years, and this is my old copy held together by the masking tape. I believe this is I know I got it in the mid-70s to late 70s. I think this is the 1967 or perhaps the 1972 version of the game. It's a horse racing game, obviously, where you train up horses as trainers, and then you run them in the race. And whoever's horse wins the race wins the game. But it's a much loved game over the decades, and I thought I'd just like to show you what it looks like, what one of these original versions looked like, because somehow, I don't know, I've managed to keep mine, even though it's been chewed on by mice in the garage a couple of times, obviously. I'm hoping I don't find a mouse in here as I open up the box. But that's what the cover looks like. When you open up the box, that's the insert, okay, and you've got the really cool money. These are betting tickets. The horses are really nice, very well made, like that. Okay, there's 12 of those. Trainers report cards, veterinary report cards, various other. Here's the cards for the horses and for the auction. This is one of the original dice. There should be two here, but I've lost one. Please forgive me, it has been over 40 years. So that's what the dice look like. I've even got the original rubber bands that I think if I dropped on the floor, they'd probably break in two. I think it just did. These are cards, that advantage cards that you use to help your horse go a bit quicker in a race. The betting sheets and two rule books comes in this game. There's even a short version of the little short version of the game there as well. And then, of course, I love looking at the old catalogs that came in the box back then. And this is the Murphy Games catalog that came out with the game. Aussie Rules Footy game. Of course, Totopoly again. There's Campaign and Game of Nations. Cluedo, of course. On the back is the game that I've reviewed before, Safari Roundup. And then there's Scrabble and Sorry and golf and table soccer and so on. But that's basically what you get inside the box, besides, of course, the fantastic double-sided board. One side of the board looks like this, and this is the training side. This is where your horses go into those two stables. This is Stevden Stables and Walroy Stables. And the horses sit in there to start, and then they make their way one circuit around the board, collecting veterinary reports, trainer reports, having to pay fees at the forage merchant and at the vet, at the blacksmith, and so on, joining various steward clubs and things. It's very well done, and you just roll your dice and move around that board. On the other side of the board is the actual racetrack, which looks really great. And as you can see there, the horses begin over here. And these are, each space represents a length. The colors come into play because the horses are in 4 different colors. And if you're trying to get your horses to land on the same color that they are, to propel them a little bit forward, a bit more quicker. And there's various... Those white spaces also have various effects and special effects on the game which adjust the race and make things easier and more difficult, of course. But let's have a look a little bit closer how the game actually plays. Yeah, then the game starts with a really cool early drafting mechanic and bidding war, which is really cool because we see that quite a bit in games today. Everybody's dealt a card of hands. I've got a game of for 3 players set up, though I haven't given the other 2 players their money yet. Okay, I couldn't be bothered. Anyway, this is the money you get at the start. You get $700 each. So just imagine these guys have got their $700 as well. And there's also one hand dealt to the board as well, which will come into play in a minute. But the first thing you do is find who the auctioneer is, and that's this person. So he's declaring himself the auctioneer. He'll be in charge of the auction that's coming up. But the first thing we all do is you look at your cards. And so there's cards that represent every horse on the board. You notice the horses are in their stables now, sitting in there. The advantage cards are set. The decks are for the vet and the owner's club is set. The decks for the trainer reports are set there as well. You can see all the horses in their stables. So you look at your hand first, and now it's like you decide to keep whatever you are willing to keep, and you have to pay for that. So if I want to have these two horses to train, for this stage in the game, I'll keep them. And you know, the black and the red horses are apparently have the best chance of winning, and the blue and the yellows have a lesser chance. So I've got a red and a blue. I like that idea. Let's say I kept these, so I would spend $65 of my money, hand it to the bank over there, and I'd keep Overcoat and Jerome Fandor. You also get the opportunity to keep cards which give you a job in the game, okay, an occupation, which allows you to earn money during the course of the game. So if I want to be the blacksmith, if I want to be the forage merchant or the owner's club steward, I'd pay for this as well. So let's just say I wanted to pay to be the blacksmith. I'd pay another $40 from here, and this would be my hand at this point. The other players would obviously do the same. Anything I don't choose to keep goes into that hand for the board. And after they've decided what to keep, they might keep these, okay, and this guy might keep the owner of the stables and these two horses, Elton and Marmaduke Jinx, and put Play On back in there. Now the auction would begin, and we'd flip over one of these cards one at a time, and then the players would bid on all of these cards, right? And so this is where you are able to get more jobs, occupations, responsibilities which earn you money, but also more horses as well, right? It's good to be the veterinary surgeon because there's quite a bit of money to be earned from being the vet, so then there's more horses in here as well. So we would do, and also owner of the stables as well, very handy. But again, whoever wants what they want would bid, and of course highest bidder wins, and I might end up with those three horses. You can only put three horses into the race, okay, at the end. So yeah, it's good to settle on three that you're happy with and concentrate on those. You might lose horses during the training schedule as well, so you've got to keep that in mind. So now the training part of the game begins, and what happens is you roll 2 dice on your turn. I've only got one, remember I said, so that's how I rolled 2. So that's a 5 and a 1 makes 6, and you move every one of your horses around this board according to the number that you just rolled. So I roll a 6, so I move Overcoat, Jerome Fandor, and Dorigen 6. So Overcoat's number 6 over here, and I'd go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I just do what it says, like the standard old roll and move type games. I've landed on the stables. It says visit your trainer and receive report. The Overcoat's trainer stables is here, so I take the trainer report card and I read it and I do what it says. Training so far satisfactory. Really fast work now needed to make him clean in his win. Take 1 appropriate color card and pay owner of Walroy Stables $50. So now you see how whoever managed to buy, this player's got the Walroy Stables. They own them, so I'd have to pay him $50. So that's how money starts passing around. But it says here, take 1 appropriate color card. My horse is red, so I take a red color card, which is over here. And what these do is you cash them in on race day and during the race to advance your horses quicker in the race. So you really want to get a good amount of these cards, particularly ones that are the same color as your horses. That's going to help you on race day. Okay, I moved Overcoat 6. Now I move Jerome Fandor 6. He's over here, number 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. and he's come to Owners Club, eve of race dinner, expenses. Each owner pays $10 to Owners Club. So whoever held the Owners Club card, I'm the blacksmith, he's a stable owner here. Let's say he had the Owners Club card. It's probably in here somewhere. Let's say he had it. Every owner would have to pay him now $10. Right, and that my last horse was Dorigen, number 3, who's over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And there's another stables report. I might land on the blacksmith on another turn. Plating bill, $20 to the blacksmith. I'm the blacksmith, so that's fine. But if anyone else lands on that, I'm going to get this $20 because I'm the blacksmith. Over here is the vet. If you landed on the vet, report in good condition, pay $20. That's to the vet. So whoever's the vet will get $20 from me and take one color card. I'll take a black card, one of these, and again use it in the race later. Other things you could land on: forage merchant. Okay, paying for supplying special diet. I'd have to pay the forage merchant $30. If I landed on this space here, over there, get report on condition, that's the vet. So I'd take a vet report card and read what it says. This horse will not be able to overcome its coughing trouble in time for the race. Take 2 white cards. Why are white cards no good? That's the ones in the middle here. Well, they're no good for one thing because they're called disadvantage. And if you're stuck with these cards at the end of the race, even if you win, you don't win, right? So in order to win the race, you have to get rid of all your white cards, and you will pick them up during the course of this training schedule. And I'll show you how we get rid of those in a minute. But so all the horses go around once, performing the actions that they land on, exchanging money, paying each other money, getting reports. Some of the reports in these decks give you advantages in the race. And there's another couple of things, but you get the gist here. So let's have a look at what the race looks like. And here's the race. Horses are set up here at the starting gate in their respective numbered barriers. And so the way this goes is we only use 1 dice on this board. And you roll the dice. And for each of your horses, okay, so I've got 6, 11, and 3, those 3 horses. So when it's my turn, I will roll the dice for each of my horses and start moving them. Okay, what you're really trying and hoping to do is for your horse to land on a space which is its same color. So I've got Overcoat number 6, and I really would love Overcoat to land as much as he can on these red spots, because when you land on the same color of your spot, you move forward some extra spaces. So if a black horse lands on a black space, it moves forward 4 more lengths. If a red horse lands on a red space, it moves forward 3 more lengths, and yellow and blue the same as well, 2 and 1. So yeah, you're really trying to get them here. This is where your advantage cards that you might have picked up from the training track come into play. And if you can make some decisions at the training stage to sort of strategize and make it easier for you and more likely for you to get these cards. It's not all just roll and move and it's up to luck. There are a couple of decisions you can make. Not heavy ones, but it's there. You know, I managed to get 1 red card. So what you use this for is these advantage cards turn a color space on the racetrack into your horse's color. So let's say Overcoat actually ended up here on this black space. I could hand in this advantage card, turn this space to red, like this, and put it back in there. And now it's a red space, and that means Overcoat can move up 3 spaces. Okay, so that's how your advantage cards work. You have to get rid of these disadvantage white cards in order for your horse to qualify to win, because you've still got these in your hands at the end. You're going to lose. So if you do land on one of your horse's color spaces, instead of taking the advantage of moving forward, you can sacrifice one of your white cards. So that's how you get rid of those. And so here we go. There's lots of different... if you come up into the back of a horse, you have to stop. You can move places. You can move to the outside or the inside. as long as there's a gap of 3 lengths behind you. So you don't really want to run up behind other horses, but you have got that option to move to the rails and to the outside, which is really nice. And the various effects in there. Flying start, go on 2 lengths, boxed in, fall back 1 length, the usual sorts of things. Pass next horse in front, if not more than 4 lengths ahead. Swerved, go back 2 lengths, the usual sorts of things in these kind of roll and move games. Look, there's a couple of bad ones. For example, over here is Broken Rein, out of race, okay? So your horse is gone at that point, unless, like me, I've managed to get a stable report during the training session, which gives me a card which allows me to ignore the Broken Rein space on the board. So that's a nice tie-in between the training session and the race. Also, there's other things that you have to try and avoid. Like the horse falls, to remount, throw a 6, so you can be stuck there for quite a while. And as you come around the turn here, you can't move out of your lane. And if you manage to be in the inside lane, you've got a much quicker run through, as you can see from the outside lane. But you want to also avoid burst blood vessel, out of race. There are cards which allow you to mitigate that risk. All right, and at the end there, the first, second, and third horses are the ones that get the prize money. Okay, so these horses are all over the place here as they're moving, and yeah, you can imagine as if I rolled a 2 for Overcoat here, he'd go 1, 2. Great, he's landed on a red space, so he moves forward another 3, and these horses just keep moving around the track like this until eventually they come around the turn here and get into the placings. Okay, so it's quite good. It gets quite exciting as you get around this part, and if you've got advantage cards still to use, you feel like you've got a chance. You're maneuvering outside and inside. You're hoping you don't land on some of those horrible effects, and it becomes really enjoyable in the end. It becomes a lot of fun. You can bet on the race as well, as most of these games do. There's the betting ticket, record, and these are the betting tickets that come with the game. But in the end, it's not the person with the most money, so the betting that wins the game. So the betting is just for a bit of a side bit of fun. But the rules actually say that in the end, the winner of the game shall be the winner of the race, not the one with the most money. So if you manage to train a horse that wins the race, you win the game. The rules were changed as it moved into the 80s to include people who had more money. So it changed from the person who won the race wins the game to the person with the most money wins the game, which is kind of nice as well. It makes a little bit more sense. But that's Totopoly, a very quick look at a great little retro game that for some reason I've still got. Okay, hope you enjoyed that. See you later.